Feeling richer every month? Budgeting made easy. You ever find yourself at the end of the month staring at your bank account like it's speaking a foreign language? Yeah, been there. I remember one time I was convinced I had enough for a weekend trip only to realize I'd blown my budget on, wait for it, sparkly water. Don't judge. The point is, budgeting can feel like this huge, scary chore, but what if I told you it doesn't have to be? What if, instead of dreading your budget, you actually felt richer every single month? Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, it's possible. We're not talking about some get-rich-quick scheme here. This is about simple, actionable tips that can transform your relationship with money. We'll dive into tracking your expenses, setting goals, the fun kind, I promise, automating your savings and spending mindfully. By the end of this video, you'll be well on your way to feeling more in control, more confident, and yes, even a little bit richer. All right, let's get real for a second. Do you actually know where your money goes each month? I'm talking down to the last dollar because let's be honest, most of us don't. We swipe our cards, tap our phones, and before we know it, poof! Money gone. Vanished into thin air like it's got some secret teleportation device. And that's the problem. When we don't track our spending, we're basically flying blind. We think we're spending our hard-earned cash on things that matter, but in reality it's often a bunch of small, insignificant purchases that add up to a huge chunk of change by the end of the month. Think about it, those daily coffees, those impulse buys at the checkout line, those subscriptions you forgot you even had. I'm talking from experience here. I used to think I was Mr. Frugal until I actually sat down and tracked my expenses. Turns out I was spending an embarrassing amount on, wait for it, dog toys. Don't judge, my pup deserves the best. But seriously, it was eye-opening and a little embarrassing. But hey, that's the beauty of tracking your expenses. It shines a light on those spending habits you didn't even know you had. It's like holding up a mirror to your finances and seeing the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start to become more aware of your spending habits. You start to question those impulse buys. You start to make conscious decisions about where your money goes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dude, tracking my expenses sounds about as fun as a root canal, and trust me, I get it. It's not the most glamorous thing in the world, but it doesn't have to be a chore. There are tons of apps out there that make it super easy. You can literally link your bank accounts and credit cards, and they'll do all the work for you. Or, if you're old school like me, you can always go the pen and paper route. Grab a notebook, create a simple spreadsheet, whatever works for you. The point is to find a system that you'll actually stick to, because the truth is, tracking your expenses is the foundation of a solid budget. It's the first step to taking control of your finances and feeling richer every single month. So what are you waiting for? Start tracking today. Let's talk about goals, people. Not just any goals, though, financial goals. Because let's be real, aiming for financial stability is about as exciting as watching paint dry. We need something tangible, something we can actually get excited about. Think about it. What do you really want? A down payment on your dream home, that epic trip to Bali you've been dreaming of, early retirement so you can finally start that alpaca farm you've been talking about. Hey, no judgment here. Whatever it is, write it down. Make it specific, make it measurable, and most importantly, make it something that lights a fire in your belly. Because let me tell you, having a clear financial goal is like having a GPS for your money. It gives you direction, it keeps you motivated, and it helps you stay on track when those tempting spending opportunities pop up. Now, I'll admit I haven't always been the best at setting financial goals. There was this one time back in the day when I decided I was going to save up for a down payment on a, wait for it, jet ski. Yeah, you heard that right, a jet ski. Looking back, it wasn't the most practical goal, but hey, I was young and thought it would be cool to zip around the ocean like a millionaire. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The point is, even if your goal seems a little out there, having one is better than having none at all, because when you have a goal in mind, you're more likely to make smart financial decisions. You're more likely to save money. You're more likely to achieve financial success. So how do you set financial goals that you'll actually achieve? It's simple. Break them down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Instead of saying, I want to save $10,000 for a down payment, break it down into monthly or even weekly savings goals. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. When you have smaller, more achievable goals, you're less likely to get overwhelmed and give up. Plus, it feels amazing to check those milestones off your list and see yourself getting closer to your ultimate goal. Chapter 3. Automate your savings because you've got better things to do. Let's be honest, manually transferring money to your savings account every month is about as exciting as watching a snail race. It's time-consuming, it's easy to forget, and let's be real, sometimes we just don't feel like it. But what if I told you there's a better way, a way to save money without even thinking about it, a way to make your money work harder than you do? Enter the magical world of automation. Think of it like this. You know those subscription boxes that automatically send you goodies every month? It's the same concept, but instead of getting a box of random snacks, you're getting a box of, wait for it, financial security. Okay, maybe it's not as exciting as a box of snacks, but trust me, it's way more rewarding in the long run. Because when you automate your savings, you're essentially tricking yourself into saving money. It's like magic, but with money. Here's how it works. You set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to your savings account. You choose the amount, you choose the frequency, and boom! Just like that, you're building your savings without even lifting a finger. The best part is you can automate your savings for pretty much anything. You can automate your emergency fund, your down payment fund, your alpaca farm fund. Hey, I told you no judgment. And the sooner you start, the better. Because the power of compound interest is no joke. It's like a snowball effect. The more you save, the more interest you earn, and the more interest you earn, the more money you make. It's a beautiful cycle of financial growth. Chapter 4. Mindful spending because you deserve better than buyer's remorse. All right, let's talk about spending, but not just any kind of spending, mindful spending. Spending money isn't inherently bad. It's a necessary part of life. We need to spend money on things like food, shelter, transportation, and those occasional sparkly waters. Don't judge. But the problem is most of us spend mindlessly. We swipe our cards without thinking, we buy things we don't need, and we end up with a whole lot of buyer's remorse. But the good news is there's a better way to spend money mindfully. Mindful spending is all about being intentional with your purchases. It's about asking yourself, do I really need this? Will this bring me joy? Or am I just buying this because it's on sale? It's about taking a step back before you swipe your card and really thinking about the value of your purchase. Because at the end of the day, it's not about depriving yourself of the things you enjoy. It's about making sure that your spending aligns with your values and your financial goals. So, how do you practice mindful spending? Here are a few tips. First, create a budget. I know, we've talked about this already, but seriously, it's the foundation of mindful spending. When you have a budget, you know how much money you have to spend each month, and you can make conscious decisions about where your money goes. Third, wait 24 hours before making big purchases. This is a game changer. When you give yourself some time to think about a purchase, you're less likely to make an impulse buy. And finally, don't be afraid to say no to sales, to peer pressure, to that little voice in your head that tells you you need another pair of shoes. It's okay to say no to things you don't need or can't afford. Budget like a boss, you got this. So there you have it, folks. 4 simple yet powerful tips to feel richer every month. We talked about tracking your expenses, no more financial amnesia, setting exciting goals, alpaca farm, anyone? Automating your savings, because who has time for manual labor, and practicing mindful spending, say goodbye to buyer's remorse. The best part? You can start implementing these tips today. It doesn't require a finance degree or a 6-figure salary, just a little bit of effort and a willingness to take control of your finances. Trust me, your future self will thank you. And hey, who knows, you might even find that budgeting can actually be, dare I say it, fun? Okay, maybe not fun, but definitely more empowering and a whole lot less stressful than staring at your bank account in a cold sweat. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome financial tips. And remember, you got this.